Hello, Julian.
Hello.
I'm Joanne.
Are you a long-lost relative?
I am.
How are you?
Mwah. I'm fine, how are you? Lovely to meet you.
Very
Come
well,
through.
thank you.
This is my Nan Ivy.
Hello.
Hello, Julian.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I brought you flowers from Waterloo Station.
Oh, I love them.
There you go.
Oh, thanks ever so much.
Is this where I'm sitting?
Oh, thank you.
They're probably a bit thirsty because they've been on the road for a long
Joanne,
time.
could you get somebody to put in the water for me, please?
You look well.
Beautiful. Yeah, well, I sit out there in the sun doing a bit of knitting, a bit of reading. What else is there to do?
Do you? It's lovely, isn't it?
I'm too old to get doing energetic stuff, aren't I? But I'm quite happy out there doing that.
And I ask how old you are now.
91.
And would you say you look like your mother or your father?
Well, I don't know my father, so I can't ever tell, because I was only 3 when he died, you see.
Right.
And
This
that's
is the picture I've got of your father, of Herman.
Oh, I don't know. And this was him.
This was him.
That's lovely, isn't it?
He looks worried to death here, doesn't he?
He looks a bit scared.
This was him before he met my mother, I reckon.
Well, we've been tracing his story. He married your mother, and then when the First World War came along, he was interned.
Well, no, he was too ill. He was almost dying when the First World was. He died in a convalescent or something. He was too ill to go in a concentration camp or whatever they called it. I was always told that he was never interned because he was too ill, and he died in the hospital or wherever it was. That's all I could say about that.
What was wrong with him?
Consumption. He died of TB. In those days, consumption was a thing that nobody did anything about. It just there.
Herman died of tuberculosis in 1917, leaving his wife Louisa to bring up their 7 children alone.
What was your mother like?
Oh, I loved her. She was smashing, but she was always... I can only ever remember being ill, really, because she had this asthma and bronchitis. But very, very hard it was when we were children.
Was it?
She used to... when she was fit enough, in the summer, she did better because her chest didn't play up so much. She used to get the job in the hotel washing up, you know, down
Yes.
King's Cross and round that way.
Did any aunts and uncles come and see you from Louisa's side? I just wondered what happened to
No,
her.
I think they must have disowned her as she married a German. I only surmise this. I've known nothing about that, really.
Right.
But there were never any aunts or uncles ever came to see us. It was a bit rough, but I don't like talking about that very much, because we used to...
That's a long time ago.
I get about upset when we talk that far back, you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't want you to get upset.
So...
She's given me a lot to digest. It seems Herman never was interned because he was too ill, and then he died, leaving Louisa with quite a lot to worry about, intense poverty, and barely able to feed the children, and with her own health failing. It's a mystery as to why she doesn't remember any relatives of her mother's being around. She seemed to think that they didn't like Herman for some reason, but why didn't they like him? Ivy's given me Herman and Louisa's wedding certificate from April the 2nd, 1893, a spring wedding. Herman was 27, Louisa was 21. He's a baker. Ivy seemed to think that possibly there was some disapproval of Herman because he was German, but the anti-German feeling hadn't been whipped into a frenzy at that time, so that doesn't quite hang together as a theory.
If it wasn't because he was German, could the family's poverty have been the reason that Louisa's parents disapproved of her marriage to Herman? To find out more about the Tiedemanns' circumstances, Julian is meeting Sue Donnelly to look at Charles Booth's poverty map.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you Sue?
I am. I'm the archivist here.
An archivist?
Yeah.
Hello there.
Right.
Booth's 1898 map illustrates living conditions in London at the time Herman and Louisa were married.
What he did was gather a lot of information from all over London, and then he assigned each street a colour according to what he called its social condition. So it went from yellow, which you can see up here, which was wealthy and upper class, and it went down to black, which he defined in a very Victorian way as being vicious and semi-criminal. So you're looking for Cornwall Cottages, which is on Popham Street in Islington.
Is that black? Or blue?
Black, dark blue and light blue.
It's not looking good, is it?
It's not looking good, I'm afraid. It basically means that the majority of people on that street were earning less than 21 shillings a week. And 21 shillings was the minimum that a family of 5 needed to live in. So nobody on that street was basically making the minimum wage.
Right.
And you can see
Within a few days, I've got quite a clear and rather grim picture of my great-grandparents. I didn't even know what either of them looked like. And when I first looked at that picture of Herman, and you sort of look into his eyes and wonder what he was looking so sheepish about, really. And also Louisa, when I looked at her picture, she looked... now it's all explained, you know, she looked so sort of grim-faced. And... but she had to be. It may be that Louisa's parents thought, you know, you made your decision and now you get on with it. And then at that time they had made some connection between poverty and immorality, and that's why the door was shut in her face. And but it's hard, you know, it's hard to come to terms with that. They couldn't have helped her a bit. Yes, you want to weep for them, really.